Welcome to Winchester, where the West Central Cougars will be taking on the North Greene Warriors from Whitehall. The teams are getting ready. We're going to go through starting lineups. The starting lineups for the North Greene Warriors is going to be number 2, Brandy Davidson, number 6, JC Arnold, number 12, Larissa Heberling, 13, Lakin Price, and 15, Aubrey Hall. For West Central, number 16, Bailey Long, number 8, Maya Little, number 5, Braylee Litting, number 3, Izzy Wellenreiter, and number 20, Adrian Kaufman. The game today is officiated by Linda Wilson and Jill Deering. I'm Amanda Vortman, and I also have Lexi Moore here. We'll be narrating the game today.
I'm going to add number 20, Chelsea Castleberry, on for the North Greene Warriors as well.
Thank you. North Greene will have the first serve. Up to serve is Lakin Price with an ace. Serve over to Kaufman in a lift. Oh, they crossed the line at the center line, so the score now is 2-0 for North Greene.
It was a nice up. She just went too far.
And we have a net serve. So point over to West Central. It's 2-1. Braylee Littig will be up to serve. And short serve on that. So North Greene up 3-1. Up to serve is Larissa Heberling. Good serve. Try to have a 3 hit, and we've got into the net for West Central. Point to North Greene, 4-1. Heberling back to serve. Good serve. We have a 3. It's a 3 hit for West Central. Hitting the ground, so point West Central. Back to serve, number 8, Maya Little. We're going to have a substitution, and for West Central is going to be number 18, Cordelia Fuller. And for number 3, Izzy Wellenreiter in the front row. Good serve, received back, and error on West Central. Point to North Greene, it's 5-2. Up to serve for North Greene is Chelsea Castleberry, number 20.
Good serve.
Oh, West Central trying to do a three touch, but they're saying that there was a lift, I think, from the setter.
Yeah, they called double contact on the setter, so hit one hand and then the other, which is illegal.
Serve out of bounds for North Greene, so West Central is going to take the serve back. Right now it's 3-6 North Greene. We're going to have some substitutions coming in. Number 21, Olivia Clark, will be coming in, as well as number 29, Sophie Grubb. Olivia Clark will be back to serve. And Sophie Grubb will be coming in for the front row. Underhand serve over and receive. Back over to West Central side. And another lift on North Greene. So ball back to West Central. 4-6. Olivia Clark back to serve. Good serve, just barely over the net. Back into the net for North Greene. It's 5-6 for West Central. Olivia Clark up to serve again. She has a super easy serve that barely goes over the net. West Central returned the ball. Point West Central. It's now tied up 6-6 with Olivia Clark back to serve again. She has a good underhand serve, barely makes it over the net. And a reception error on North Greene. Cougars take the lead 7-6. It was received by North Greene, back over to West Central, and they try a three-touch approach and into the net. So North Greene takes the serve, back to 7-7. Serves up and over. Serving error, a reception error on West Central. North Greene takes the lead, 8-7 again. Up to serve is number 15, Aubrey Hall. Good serve. And over for West Central. Returned again, back to West Central. And a little tip there by number 2, Brandy Davidson. North Greene is up 9-7 with Aubrey Hall serving. And net serve, back to West Central. Score is 8-9. And right now we have Hallie Lawson back to serve. Overhand serve is good. Point West Central. Lawson back to serve again. Game is tied up at 9. Serve up and over. Good overhand serve. It was received an error for North Greene. So West Central is up 10-9. Another good serve up and received. Error on North Greene. A lot of times it's hard to tip that ball back over using two hands without getting caught with a lift. Serve received, back to West Central. They're going to attempt the 3, and it's into the net. So North Greene will take the serve back. It's 11-10, West Central. Up to serve is number 6, JC Arnold. Good reception. They're going to attempt a 3, and good. Braylee Littig for an attack. We have a substitution. Izzy Wellenreiter is going to come back into the game. She'll go back to serve, and Cordelia Fuller is going to have a seat for a little bit. West Central is up 12-10. Serve is up and over, and they receive, and right back over to the net. Point North Greene. So Brandy Davidson's going to be up to the line to serve. North Greene is down 12-11. Serve is up and good. Back received and back over to North Greene. And we're kind of throwing it back and forth. Another lifting error. Again, kind of hard to pass that ball back overhand like that without getting called. So we have another substitution for West Central. Adrienne Kaufman's going to come back in for the front row, as is Bailey Long's going to go back to serve. Olivia Clark comes out, as well as Sophie Grubb. Cougars are up 13-11. Bailey Long back to serve. And we have a net serve. So North Greene's going to take the serve back. They are down 13-12. And up to serve is Lakin Price, number 13. Underhand serve over, and she has an ace. Point for North Greene. Score is tied up at 13s right now with Lake and Price serving. Underhand serve just barely over the net and received by West Central. We had number 20 Chelsea Castleberry go up for an attempted hit, and she hits it out of bounds. So serve back to West Central. Braley Littig will be up to serve, tied at 14. Serve is up and over, received and out of bounds by North Greene. So point up to West Central's up 15-14. We take out a couple fans, the cardboard cutouts, the fans in the stands. We have about 50 of those that take up our gym. First couple rows to reserve, so we can't have any, spectators on the court. Point goes back to West Central. They are up 16-14 with Braley Littig serving. Overhand serve. Serve is up and good. Back row, and had a couple players kind of collide there for North Greene. Ball goes out of bounds. So West Central takes the lead to 17-14. They're going to take a timeout, as will we. So we'll be back in a couple minutes. And we're back to West Central versus North Greene 7th grade volleyball game right now. We have Braley Littig for West Central up to serve. West Central is leading 17-14. And we're just checking rotations, making sure everybody's in proper line. You can have some issues with that if your girls don't line up properly. There's certain formations that they have to follow, rotations they have to follow. Braley Littig with a net serve. So North Greene's going to take the serve back, 17-14 for West Central. Larissa Heberling, number 12, is up to serve. Underhand serve over to Kaufman, and we're going to attempt a three. Good job, girls. Braley Littig tips it back over. Back to West Central. Free ball over. Good job, girls. West Central played couple three-hit attacks here. Pass it back over to North Greene. Ultimately, it ends up in the net for West Central favor. So now we have Maya Little back to serve. 18-14 West Central. Serve is up and over and received into the net. So West Central take another point for 19-14. Rotating into the game for West Central is Chevelle Ireland. She's coming in as a front row, and Izzy Wellenreiter is going to sit out. Maya Little serve up and hits the antenna and goes out of bounds. So point for North Greene. West Central up 19-15. We now have Chelsea Castleberry for North Greene up to serve. And ball serve out of bounds. Point West Central. Another couple rotations. Olivia Clark is coming in to serve. She's our ultimate server. She always comes in for the back row, does a good job. As well as Sophie Grubb coming in for the front row. Adrian Kaufman has a seat and a break for a little bit, and so is Bailey Long. Olivia has that short, soft serve and over again. And we're going to have double contact on North Greene as they try to receive it with two hands over their head. That's a super hard thing to pull off. West Central up 21-15. Olivia serve over and received back to West Central. Back to North Greene and into the net. Point West Central. They're doing a good job of West Central is coming off of the net and receiving these. There's a lot of free balls, but that's common to happen with these younger girls. Little miscommunication, but back over, saved by Littig, and ball is received and dropped on the floor. So North Greene's going to take the serve. West Central is up 22-16. We've got Aubrey Hall up to serve for North Greene. Serve is up and over, received by Lawson, over by Littig, received and back over. Little bit of back and forth play here. And a ceiling. So if you haven't been to Winchester's gym, you know this our ceiling is dome shaped with a lot of wooden pieces. So if you hit the ball up into the ceiling, it's more than likely going to come right back at you. So it's a hard thing to learn, and that's exactly what happened, as did the lights. Now, if it touches the ceiling and comes back on your side, somebody else on your team can take the ball, take it back over. But it takes a little bit to learn that. So we've got Aubrey Hall back up to serve. West Central is leading 22-18. Serve is up and over and received. Error on West Central. All right, Izzy Wellenreiter is going to come back into the game as Chevelle Ireland has a seat. Serve is up by North Greene, barely over the net. Good serve. It was received, but kind of shanked off to the side. So serve back to North Greene, and a timeout for West Central. Right now, West Central's up 22-20 with North Greene serving. We'll be back. And we're back to Winchester, where we're going to have North Greene with a serve.
Number 15, Aubrey Hall. She kind of has like a short serve too.
She does. And West Central received it, and on their third attempt, it kind of ends up in the net. So North Greene's going to take the serve back.
I appreciate that. West Central's trying to do that 3-hit contact. I know that's difficult, especially at this age.
Good receive, and a lot of girls kind of running into one another. It's kind of hard. You're trying to figure out who's responsible for things.
Yeah, so a lot of like miscommunication, especially on these last 4 points. Aubrey Hall has served up.
Oh, and another communication error there. So North Greene has 23. We were behind a little bit on points, but they have 23, and West Central has 22. So it's coming down to a pretty close game, and we're taking a timeout again. North Greene up 23, West Central 22. All right, we're back to play. We've got North Greene up 23, West Central 22. Aubrey Hall up to serve. Received by West Central. Again, attempt a three attempt. They get the ball over, and it's received in one hand hit. Back row. She did a good job with that. Control is the key with those one-armed wings that you have.
I think Briley has 2 kills now.
Good.
I think it kind of threw North Greene off. They didn't expect someone to attack the ball.
Game is tied right now with Lawson up to serve. And it ace. No contact whatsoever. Ace right to the ground. This is going to be the game point for West Central. If they can pull it off, you have to win by 2. And if they can make this last point, it would be 25-23. Ball is up, and another ace. West Central is going to take this first set, 25-23. They're going to stay on their own sides. They're going to meet back at the bench. They're going to, with COVID regulations, they have to sanitize our playing ball, and they'll take a break, and we'll be back as well. We're back at Winchester, where West Central is playing North Greene Warriors Junior High Volleyball. We're in the second set for the 7th grade match, where West Central took the first game 25-23. Out there on the court for North Greene right now, we have Chelsea Castleberry, Larissa Heberling, Lakin Price, Brandy Davidson, Aubrey Hall, and hard to tell sometimes at the ponytails, JC Arnold. Okay, sorry for that. West Central had a serve up, and they had a point on that, so they're taking the early lead with 1-0 by Braley Littig. And net serve for Braley Littig In for the West Central Cougars, we have number 5, Briley Littig. We have number 8, Maya Little, Adrian Kaufman, Hallie Lawson, and Izzy Wellenreiter, as well as Bailey Long.
Short serve by Lakin Price.
Cougars are up 2-1 with Maya Little up to serve. Overhand serve is good and received into the net by North Greene, so point West Central. They're up 3-1. Serve up and good and received back over to the West Central girls, and kind of a free ball over the net.
I think she hit it twice.
Looked like there's an error on North Greene, so West Central is going to take the serve again, up 4-1. Serve up and back over West Central. Again, going to attempt this 3, but it was passed over on 2, and then it was attacked by Chelsea Castleberry from the middle. She hit right to the back corner where nobody for West Central was there, so they're going to take the ball back. 4-2 West Central. Up to serve is Larissa Heberling, number 12.
That was a good spot. No one was there. And I think that's North Greene's first kill tonight.
And we're going to it kind of was a free ball over the net, barely over the net where Lawson was, and she just kind of tipped it right back over. So West Central point. Coming into the game is Olivia Clark as well as Izzy Wellenreiter. Nope, I'm sorry. That is Sophie Grubb. So Clark's going to go back to her normal position, which is going to be in the serving spot, and Sophie Grubb's going to be in the front row. Serve is up and barely over like she does every time, but does a good job. And ball comes back to West Central side, but goes out of bounds. So Chelsea Castleberry is going to come up to serve for North Greene. West Central is up 5-3. We have a substitution. Cordelia Fuller will be coming in for Izzy Wellenreiter for West Central. Serve up and over. Good. Received by Fuller. Passed over by Littig. We're going to go back and forth here a little bit. West Central is attempting to take their 3. They've got a free ball over and out of bounds for North Greene. So 6-3 for West Central. Hallie Lawson's going to go back to serve right now. They're doing a good job of trying to make the three touch hit for West Central, whether it be free balls or even attacks. They're trying to set things up. We're going back and forth a little bit with West Central and North Greene, and we have
a lift.
Yep, a lift for West Central. They kind of keep playing it out, but West Central has a lift, and so serve's going to go back to North Greene. West Central's up 6-4. Aubrey Hall will be back to serve. Underhand serve, and just barely misses going over, so point West Central.
She went on, I think, like a 7-point serving run the last game when it was pretty close at the end.
Yep, she has some good underhand serves. Izzy Wellenreiter is going to come in for West Central for the back row, as Fuller will be going out. West Central's up 7-4. Serve is up and barely over the net. Those are some good ones. We've got a ceiling. Ball goes into the ceiling for North Greene and returns on the West Central side, so ball goes back to West Central. If it had stayed on the North Greene side, they could have had another attempt to hit. Ball over. Oop. Ball was received by North Greene. Barely went over, and then West Central kind of boggled back and forth with it, and they're going to return the serve back over to North Greene. J.C. Arnold will be up to serve. Underhand serve is up to Little. Again, going to attempt a three hit, and that worked out for West Central. So point West Central. There are going to be some substitutions. Bailey Long's going to come in to serve. Sophie Grubb's going to go out Adrian Kaufman will be coming in for the front row, and Olivia Clark will be sitting. West Central is up 9-5. And Bailey Long will be back to serve. And just hits the top of the tape of the net, so ball will go back to North Greene.
Brandy Davidson will be back to serve for North Greene.
Underhand serve up and over. Kind of a free ball over, and it's right over the top of the heads and drops right onto the ground. So that's a hard one. That's a hole that's there, and when you're trying to stay in your spot, but yet, you know, it's just kind of a hard communication thing you have to figure out. Ball up and over for North Greene. Again, West Central is attempting to have their 3 touches. Ball back and forth. Tipped over by Littig. Oop, and received by North Greene back over to the about 11-foot line. And there was nobody there. So point North Greene. West Central is up 9-8. Brandy Davidson back up to serve. Received. And into the net. So you can receive the ball, you can hit into the net if somebody else from your team is underneath of it, as long as you're not touching the net. It's a hard thing. The ball's going to roll out of the net. And a good serve by Davidson. Barely just skims the top of the tape of the net. Little is there to get it, but again, one of those things, kind of like I was just saying, the roll of the ball. Kind of a hard thing. You got to get under and scoop it out. There's a timeout here. West Central is down 9-10. North Greene is winning. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. And we're back with Brandy Davidson up to serve. North Greene is up 10-9. She has an underhand serve over to Kaufman. And nobody there to get the second hit, so point goes back to North Greene, 11-9.
Yeah, she has that serve that kind of just skims the top of the tape. West Central's doing a good job of being there, anticipating that, but it's even if you're ready for it, it's hard to read and react.
All right, so the serve was received by Kaufman, and they were able to get their hand on a second hit, but just barely goes out of bounds, so point back to North Greene, 12-9. Serve up and over to Little, and attack by Castleberry, who it is received back by West Central, and there's kind of a reflection of 3 hits there, and Kaufman's able to get it back over the net. It's going to be reflected out of bounds on North Greene, so West Central will take the serve back. North Greene's up 12-10 with Littig back to serve. Good serve over, ace, right in the middle of 4 North Greene players. It just kind of drops on the ground. Everybody's just kind of standing there looking at each other, but again, that's something that will come to them. They will figure that out. Littig back up, serve. And returned right back to her. She kind of had to hustle to get there. Castleberry got the ball and then kind of ended up in dead ground. So West Central ball back. They have tied the game up with 12s. Braley Littig back to serve. Serve is up and good. Kind of a spin ball is kind of hard to return because it's not coming just straight at you. So it reflects kind of off of your arms, which it did at that point, and hits our ceiling. 13-12. Serve up and over. We're sent back to West Central side. We're kind of free ball, and then we've got a deep free ball from North Greene to our back side of the court on West Central side. kind of goes out of bounds there. So Lakin Price is going to come back to serve for North Greene. And she's got a short serve there. So West Central serve. Maya Little will go to the back. West Central's up 14-13. Good serve up kind of middle and kind of reflected out of bounds again from a couple of the players from North Greene. So West Central's going to get the ball back. Little back to serve. 15-13. West Central is up. Good serve. Oh, good serve and good reception too. Serve barely makes it over the net, and Castleberry's there. She ends up on the floor, but gets the ball back over where West Central is ready. It looks like maybe Castleberry injured her elbow in the meantime, but she's shaking it off, saying she's fine. She's in her home. She's in the front row. That's where she belongs. And she has a good reception there on serve. Back over to the West Central side. It's going to kind of be gently tapped over. Castleberry there to oh, good job. Castleberry was able to get it back over to the front row, but Kaufman was there and just kind of had a little approach, not one that she was jumping at, but she swung for it, and it ended up back on the ground on North Greene territory, so ball West Central. We have a service error on West Central, so North Greene will take the serve back. West Central is up 17-14. Back for North Greene is going to be Larissa Heberling to serve. Underhand serve is up and good to front row. And Kaufman's there to attack and hits one of North Greene's players but goes out of bounds. West Central did a good job there of getting set up, everybody pulling off of the net so Liddig can get up there to set. And Kaufman was there on the back side to put a hit down.
That's her 4th kill of the night.
So in for West Central is going to be Olivia Clark again.
Sophia Grubb as well in the front row.
Sophie Grubb's in the front. Olivia's in her area in the back. She's a good setter, and that's her good spot for her. So she gets the ball over. Reception from North Greene goes into the net. They try to recover that, but kind of, again, a hard thing to get that roll out of the net. So Olivia Clark, point. And she has a service error on that, but that's all right. She's got a lot of points behind her. In for West Central right now is going to be Cordelia Fuller. She's going to come in for Izzy Wellenreiter in the front row. And back for North Greene is going to be Chelsea Castleberry to serve. They've got about 4 points they need to make up. Good serve back. Barely tipped by West Central, so point for Castleberry. West Central leads 19-16. Ball's back up. Good serve. And it is received by West Central and on one hit back over to barely right over the net, so it ends up on the ground. So point for West Central. Looks like Hallie Lawson's going to be back to serve. West Central's up 20-16. She has a good soft serve that just is received over here by Brandy Davidson, but then just kind of gently floats out of bounds. Serve is up. Another really good soft serve. She just barely, it just doesn't even know that, it doesn't look like it's going to be going over the net. And then once it hits that plane, it just drops. So we're going to take a timeout here. West Central is up 22-16 with Lawson serving, and we'll be right back. And we're back to Winchester, where we've got Hallie Lawson back to serve for West Central. West Central's ahead 22 to 16. We have a substitution in for the game. Chevelle Ireland is coming in for the front row. Sophie Grubb's going to have a seat for a little bit. Ball. Oh, up. Oh, that's a hard one. That is a total. Lexi, is there a name for that serve?
Luck. They just skimmed the top. Like I said, the North Greene player was there. It's just those are hard to read.
That barely just hits the top and just rolls on in. Another good serve by Lawson. It's received by by North Greene, but it again just kind of goes straight into the net. That's just a body position, and you kind of need to stand up maybe a little bit to get the ball up instead of forward a little bit. This is game point for West Central. Reception by North Greene, good. Have a couple free balls and another error on North Greene, which is going to wrap up the game. So West Central is going to win this match tonight. They took the first set 25 to 23, and they're taking the second one 25 to 16. We're going to take a break for a couple minutes. We do have some stats, so don't go too far. We also want to say that tonight we have a couple games. West Central has a couple games. There's a junior high boys basketball game at Bluffs versus Rushville that you can tune into the Bluffs Bluffs page. Also, our high school boys are playing Payson at Payson tonight, and our high school girls are versing Porta. We'll be back.
Hello, and we're back, and I have some 7th grade stats between the West Central Cougars and the North Greene Warriors. These are also just rough stats. I wouldn't take them too seriously. I had to do them up here. But I had the West Central Cougars having around 20 aces, which is great, and they had about 8 kills. So in volleyball, especially the junior high level, serving super important. So that we had 20 aces and very few errors is a great improvement. For North Greene, I had about 7 aces in 1 kill. We were told that North Greene, a lot of these girls, this was their first year playing. And when you look at these stats, they had a lot of aces, a lot of good receives, a lot of good swings too. I know Chelsea Castleberry got that kill. She had a few that went out, but just the attempts were a good start, especially at this junior high level. Several with serving points. I think Aubrey Hall had over 10 serving points herself. I know the first set, that last like 5 or 6 points, she kind of went on a roll for North Greene, helped them out a lot. Anything else to add?
I don't think so. I mean, another thing to remember, we talked about this the other night, that the 7th graders, unless they're involved in like a competitive league of some kind, they're all just seeing this game for the first time. Last year with COVID, a lot of these schools will play a 6th grade league that's hosted at Our Saviors in Jacksonville or various ones around the community, but they were all taken from them. So, you know, you do have to consider that like the first year or two of anything is all about learning the fundamentals and the structure of the game, and that's what these girls are having to do right now, as well as have such a short practice time. They were, you know, all these coaches and ADs and all the officials quickly had to organize this within just a matter of a couple weeks. And they really honestly didn't get the appropriate time that they needed to get this going. So you have to give credit to all of them, all the teams, all the coaches, all the ADs, all the administrators, and the officials for making the season work for these kids.
Yeah. Volleyball is difficult, like physically, just getting down the fundamentals, but then you have to learn all like the mental aspects of the rotations, of transitions, all the hitting and everything like that. So it's difficult at any level. And yeah, like you said, it was a short season, so a lot of times coaches at the junior high age will spend several weeks working on their rotation alone or just some ball control, and they had to shove it all into a few practices. So I'm pretty impressed with them.
Yep, me too. Lexi and I both have coached at different levels. I've only done the 6th grade level, where, you know, you're not really looking at wins and losses for your season. You're looking at improvements and that the girls are finally figuring it out and it's clicking with them. Lexi's gone for a much further advancement with college or with club ball, and you know, having a lot of girls that have really good skills already, but helping them to improve those. So there's a lot coming at it from, you know, these are 7th graders. We have to remember that. But then you've got a girl here who we're watching the 8th graders, you know, warm up right now. And these girls have, I would say, they're far advanced than what I was whenever I was in high school. But we also didn't have junior high volleyball, so that's great. But to really, you know, all of this, it seems like all the schools in the area right now have that junior high opportunity as well as even sooner. I mean, we have a lot of nice sports complexes around the area that are offering a lot of opportunities to these girls to be able to get advanced or to get, you know, an opportunity of playing even just like a skill set early, much earlier than, you know, what we've had in the past. So I'm glad to see that a lot of these girls are involved in that, especially if this is something that they're passionate about. Doesn't have to be sports, but anything that you're interested in doing, and just put your heart and soul into it and make it work. So we also would like to thank Corey Brown for taking the book for us tonight. Jessica Clayton is down doing the scoreboard and keeping our game balls clean. If you see around our gym, we do have some fans in the stands tonight. West Central does allow 2 parents per player to come in, but visiting fans are not allowed. We have a pretty small gym, and with the regulations that IDPH has put into place, we're pretty limited on how many people that we can have in. However, you will see about 50 fans that are cardboard cutouts that people were able to purchase from our Cougar boosters. We did have a new order come in today, so those have not been put out, but we'll be back for tomorrow. Whereas we will be back as well The junior high volleyball girls will be playing St. John's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. This is a makeup game. We're playing it pretty early. So you can join us on the website again. Following that junior high volleyball game at 6 o'clock, our high school girls basketball will be playing Greenfield here. Both of them will be broadcasted on our YouTube channel. You can find on our website, school website, and also on our Facebook page. So there's going to be some more warm-ups with volleyball, as my husband says is the longest warm-up rotation there is. So we're going to take a break too, and then we'll come back where the 8th grade will start in just a couple minutes. Welcome to Winchester, where the West Central Cougars will be facing the North Greene Warriors, 8th grade basketball or 8th grade volleyball for the girls. Tonight, our game is going to be officiated by Jill Deering and Linda Wilson. We're going to get your lineups here. For the North Greene Warriors, the head coach is Josh Jones with the assistant of Kyla Williamson. We've got Olivia Bettis starting tonight, as well as Jocelyn Cooper, Madison Iflin, Elena Jackson, Neela Beatty, and Hannah Meldrum for North Greene. For West Central, we have number 9, Reagan Brown, Kylie Clayton, Marissa Galloway, Brooklyn Heilman, Briley Lawson, and Jaden Luna. They are coached by Kelly Mast with the assistant of Krista Coons. If you weren't here for the first game, West Central took the full match over North Greene. First set 25-23. Second set was 25-16, I believe. So if you're looking for something to do over the next couple days, we're going to be back tomorrow for junior high volleyball versus St. John's at 4 o'clock. So Thursday at 4 o'clock. Following the junior high volleyball girls, we're going to be playing girls basketball at 6. The West Central girls are going to be taking on the Greenfield Tigers. We also have a couple West Central games going on at the moment. We've got junior high boys playing at Bluffs versus Rushville. We've got high school boys basketball playing Payson, and high school girls basketball going on at Porta. So we've got both teams lining up at the back line. They're just going to take their spots where originally at this point they would go through and shake hands under the net. But due to COVID restrictions, we try to limit the amount of contact that our players and our teams have. So again, we have some fans in the stands that are cardboard cutouts in the first couple rows because we have to keep our spectators off of the court. We also are not supposed to have any spectators on the side of the benches. We have a couple people up there, but no worries.
We have number 20, Neela Beatty, serving. Oh.
And there's a point for North Greene. West Central did receive the serve, but had an error right into the net, so point North Greene. Beatty up to serve again. Reception by West Central, and we have a three-hit attack for Kylie Clayton. She has a kill on the night. We had a good reception and a set from Jaden Luna. Back to serve for West Central is going to be Reagan Brown. Score is tied at 1. Good serve, barely over the net. Received back over to West Central. Kylie Clayton up to the set. And Marissa Galloway is going to end up with the kill from the center up front. West Central is up 2-1.
That's what you saw the 7th grade try to set it up a lot, so I was really interested to see what the 8th graders could do. Having that extra year of learning the game really shows what they can do.
And they also have a size on them. These girls that we've got in the front row have a couple inches over the top of the others.
Oh, yes.
So we had a good setup for West Central. We had a reception for North Greene, a one-armed reception from North Greene. And if your palm is shut and you do it cleanly, anything can go. You can play a ball off of any part of your body part as long as it does not roll. So another serve on Brown received over. And then we have an attack from Jaden Luna from the outside, which ultimately is going to score West Central a point, 4-1, with Reagan Brown back to serve. It was kind of an unexpected attack, but it put the ball down and got him a point. Good serve over to North Greene, front row, and ball goes out of bounds. West Central's up 5-1. Reagan Brown in the back again. Ball is up and short serve, just hitting the top of the tape, but received well from North Greene. They get the ball back over to West Central. Free ball from Jaden Luna and a 3-hit attack from North Greene. just have a little shift with the shoulders, upper body, and the attack that she has, which was a good one off of the net, just goes out of bounds over by the West Central bench. Again, just kind of got behind the ball a little too sideways and straighten out your shoulders a little bit. That would have been right in bounds. Serve over from Reagan Brown. Good serve. We're going to, we've got double contact. And she's shaking her head because she's frustrated with herself, but those are hard. People at all levels are going to get called on those. So
the ball's above your head and behind you. It's really hard to try and push that out without it being a lift. So I would have been impressed.
So we had a serve here from Olivia Bettis that went over and was received well from West Central. They sent it back over the net to North Greene, where it does end up right kind of in the middle of the court in between all of the girls. We've got Kylie Clayton up to serve. West Central is up 7-2. She has a service error, so North Greene will get a point, and it's now 7-3. We have Elena Jackson up to serve for North Greene. Ball is up, and serve is in with a good, we have an illegal rotation, it looks like, for West Central. So I believe that they were moving around in the court prior to the ball crossing the plane of the net. Would you agree to that?
That's what rotations are so tricky. So if a player is to the left, that player has to stay to the left at all times, especially when that setter's pulled up. You still have to obey by all the rotation rules.
So you saw there in the middle, we had two people off of the net in the center. Reagan Brown is acting as a setter, so they're playing kind of like a 5-1 where they have one setter, but she's in the back row, so you're going to pull the setter from the back row into the front row, but she cannot be in front of that front row player until the ball crosses the plane of the net. So at that point, they are going to call that. So West Central's up 8-4. We currently have Mackenzie Jones in for the game. She is serving, underhand serve in the back. Received by North Greene. She passes up to the back row side, but it's kind of just reflects off of the net. Point for West Central.
And I believe we had Ashlyn Likes come into the game as well. We had a double sub there.
Good serve over, and ace for Mackenzie Jones. West Central's up 10-4. North Greene's a little flat on their feet right now. I think couple serves in a row will get you down, but they'll rebound from it. So we have a reception for North Greene, which is going to go back over to Briley Lawson, who's in the middle row, and she just kind of puts it back down. I've seen her hit right at the 10-foot line, and not a lot of junior high players are doing that at this point. She just has a lot of mature body movements to her. And, with just a little practice, she's going to do good. So we had another serve, another ace by Mackenzie Jones, right to the floor, doesn't even touch anybody from North Greene.
We always called the pass that was close to net, we called it feeding the bear. You never wanted to do that because they're going to come back and hit it right at you.
Like they did. Yep. Just like they just about did, but Kylie Clayton's in the back. And look at that. Oh, barely out of bounds. So Kylie Clayton receives the ball from North Greene. Reagan sets it up, and Briley comes off of the net just like I said at the last game. I want to see her do that because that girl is going to put the ball down, but her shoulders are rotated just a little bit and barely goes out of bounds. So serve up from North Greene. Oh, there's a little communication error from West Central there. We've got Jocelyn Cooper back. She just got a service point. She's back up to serve. Underhand serve over to West Central. Back over, there's a couple dinks going on. Briley's there. She's got a hand on it. It reflects right off of her as far as, she's appearing to block. There's not an attack, but she is up at the net. She has her hand up, and it just reflects right back over to the ground. So, you're being super aggressive up at the net. That's exactly what that middle person's supposed to do. They are protecting the net all the way around. She does a good job. Just has to watch the placement of her hand up for a block. In for North Greene right now is Chloe Dom. She's going to go in the back row, and Jocelyn Cooper is coming out. We have Jaden Luna in the back row for West Central. Serve up. Gets her serve up, and then she comes back and receives it back from North Greene. So
yeah, and they called Reagan Brown in the net. I knew it was close, but I didn't know if she actually was in it or not.
kind of hard with ponytails and being aggressive and staying out of the net. It could be a matter of just your shirt and you're going to get called for it. So serves up from North Greene. Well received, and Jaden Luna just tips it back over to them, and they're all just kind of caught watching the ball. So we're going to get a point for West Central. They're up 14-8. We have Briley Lawson in the back row serving. And so it is received by North Greene. Have a little miscommunication, two players kind of going for the second touch, and then it just kind of drops, goes out of bounds. Lawson's back up to serve. Good serve. It is received by North Greene by number 2, Olivia Bettis, and she puts it back on the court for West Central, back without even a touch. So North Greene's going to get the ball back. Madison Iflin's going to be back to serve.
Those were tough. I think she liked her serve so much she kind of stayed back there and watched it. But you have to quickly get on the court.
So ace for Iflin. Her serve just skims the top of the net, which is a great serve. Kind of just drops right there in front of West Central player. And I hope I didn't jinx her. She just got a service error. So, all right, we have two substitutions for West Central. We have Marissa Galloway coming in to play front row, and we also have Brooklyn Heilman, who's going back to serve. West Central's up 16-10. Serve up and in. Ace for Brooklyn Heilman. It was kind of just going over the shoulder of the front row player, but too short for the back row player. You just really have to read that well and get your feet moving before the ball kind of gets over that plane. Another serve up by Heilman. Received and back over to the West Central side. Marissa Galloway's going in for an attack. Again, received well by North Greene and back over. West Central is attempting to do the 3-touch rule that you're striving to do with volleyball here, but it is taken out of bounds. So West Central's up 17-11. We have a substitution for North Greene. It looks like Jocelyn Cooper is in.
It looks like Clayton she was a little early on that. Sometimes you just get so excited to hit, you don't wait on that ball.
Yep. And an ace for North Greene. Neela Beatty back to serve. And a service error on North Greene. So West Central will take the ball back at 18-12. We've got Reagan Brown back to serve. She's also our setter, so once she gets done serving, she'll come to the front row, I believe, although Jaden Luna does play setter. And Kylie Clayton apparently plays setter too. That's the thing with this age too, is that everybody's you're figuring out where you belong. Sometimes you don't belong in the same spot that you were in the last game, so. Okay, so West Central did set the ball up. It looks like they corrected the mistakes that they had. They got it back over to North Greene, who then just made a reception error, and Reagan Brown's going to get the ball back.
It's nice to see that they do have a bunch of setters, or that these girls can play different positions, because once they get into high school, you have no idea. You might grow or you might stay the same, so it's nice to know all the positions so you can have a better opportunity to play once you get to high school.
Olivia Bettis is up to serve for North Greene, and she has a service error. So West Central will get the ball back at 20-13. Kylie Clayton will go back to the line to serve. In the front row, we've got Galloway, Luna, and Lawson. These girls have a lot of height on them right now, so let's see what they can do. I hope that they can get some receptions and be able to set the ball up. So service error on the Cougars. Back for North Greene is Elena Jackson to serve. Ooh, good hard serve.
Yes.
And a hard, it's coming at your head. What do you do with it?
Yeah, just kind of like a reaction, oh no.
Yeah, you don't move your feet. I was guilty of that so many times.
And Luna has a hard spot because Reagan's the setter right behind her, so you kind of want to protect her because you don't want your setter to take that first hit. Up and out of bounds on that free ball.
Elena Jackson back to serve again for North Greene. West Central's up 20-16. Good serve, and it drops kind of just right over the plane of the net. Brooklyn Heilman was there, but it just, there's a lot of people all in one small area, and it just reflects a little bit, and nobody's able to recover it from the second hit. So it looks like we're going to take a timeout. West Central is up 20-17. We'll be back. All right, we're back to West Central. West Central is up 20-17 with North Greene having the serve. Right now, Elena Jackson is up to serve. Ball is in and received over. Received back by Madison Iflin, who just returns it right back to West Central Court. So point North Greene. Ooh, good serve. She had a rocket right over the net. And it was received but reflected off of North Greene, or off of West Central. So North Greene's making quite a comeback. They're down by 1 point, 20-19. Ball is up. Another great serve by her. So it is received and back over to the North Greene side. Ooh. Hey, we're playing a lot of I don't even know what that is. A lot of diving back and forth for the balls.
Yeah.
So they did a good job. They all were there. It seemed like they were covering the floor well, but it's easy to get caught up in that. And it's like you can't even recover and get up to make the next pass. So, all right, another timeout from the volleyball team here. We'll be back. Welcome back to Winchester, where the game 8th grade volleyball first set tied up right now between North Greene and West Central.
West Central used their last timeout there.
Ball up, great serves here. West Central is attempting that three-touch conversion, if you'd say, but Lawson, she comes in with a good approach, just needs to snap that wrist a little bit, and it'll fall inside the court. That one just barely went on the outside. So North Greene's going to take their first lead of the game. Serve is up and received back over to North Greene, where it will end up in the net. So game tied again.
You could tell that's what they talked about in the timeout, because Reagan was there, and I saw another player covering that hole that they had a few drop the last time out.
So in for West Central right now is going to be Mackenzie Jones. She's going to go back to serve, as is Ashlyn Likes in for the game. So good serve. Back over to North Greene. They're just not able to get it back over the net. So West Central's up 22-21. This is going to be a close game.
I don't want to jinx her, but she has 4 aces from my stats. Like I said, they're not professional, so, but.
Oh, shoot. So North Greene does receive the ball, but it hits that silly Winchester ceiling that maybe we can have hopes of replacing at some point in our life. But for volleyball, it's really bad. Curved and lots of obstacles there. Another good serve, another ceiling reception. Shoot. That's hard. So West Central's up 24-21. Game point right here. The thing you got to learn with the ceiling and with volleyball, you can't stand straight up. Good reception from North Greene back over to West Central. They're going to set it up, and Briley Lawson, she attempts. I told her the other night she needed to back off the net. She did. She's done a great job of backing off that net to get a full approach, but her shoulders, her body's just angled, and it goes out of bounds.
Served by Jocelyn Cooper.
And a hit.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, she made up for it right there. Good hit. She came into that net to the ball. Her approach was straight on, just like it needs to be. If you come in from an approach on the side, you have to learn how to adjust your shoulders and to swing through in the right direction. And she just made up for everything I just said. She did exactly. But the thing is, you have to have a bump. You have to have a set, and then you can have your approach and your attack. So it's a very hard thing to get set up, and she just made it happen. So good job to both teams. Another timeout here. We will take one too. We'll be back. All right, we're back to Winchester, where we were in between matches. We were not taking a timeout. We're new to this. Bear with us. This is my second game and Lexi's first game. So you kind of get caught up in the game because we both are players. We both are coaches. We are not commentators. So bear with us. But we're doing the best that we can. We figure it's better to watch these games maybe whenever you can hear something versus like we've been watching games, just like everybody else, and it's just kind of boring to sit there and watch. And it's so hard from these camera angles to figure out who kids are. So with that in mind, we have North Greene is out on the court. I'm going to tell you who's out there. We've got number 20, Neela Beatty, who I've been saying her name wrong the whole night, so I apologize. I even went through looking to see if there's any hard names. That's one I butchered. So I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. Okay, we also have Madison Ifland, Hannah Meldrum, Olivia Bettis, I think. Number 4, Jocelyn Cooper. Yep, those are your starters for North Greene. Kind of hard to tell sometimes with these long ponytails. You have to have them move a little bit.
Well, they were on a line for you to easily see, and then they started talking again, so you lost their number.
And when West Central gets out there, I'll tell you who's out there for them too.
But like I said, there's been a big difference between 7th and 8th grade of just having that year of experience. We're seeing the ball set up a lot more on both sides, which I love. I love it when we can get a good pass and set to hit the ball.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got a new player out there for West Central, number 2, Ella Hoots. She's going to play front row. We also have Aubrey Blevins, number 30. Number 26 in the front row is Jaden Luna. And in the back, we've got Gracie Howard and Brooklyn Heilman and Reagan Brown. So some new faces for West Central. The only returners out there are Luna, Brown, and Heilman. So bear with us as we are catching up with everybody's names. Service up from Reagan Brown, service error. So first point goes to North Greene. We've got Neela Beatty. Neela Beatty back to serve. Serve is up and good, received by Luna. We are able to make a 3-point contact. And we're going to free ball back over to North Greene. North Greene has an attack. Oh, are they going to count that in? So
Yeah.
we had a good attack by, I don't know who number. Oh, it was.
Jocelyn Cooper. Was it number 4?
Yeah, I think it was. I watched it happen and then I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I was just
get
watching
caught
where
up
the
in
ball
game.
was. I knew it was close.
It
I
was
didn't
so
know
close.
what they would call.
It was in that back left corner, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. So service error on the Cougars.
Ella Hoots. It looked good, just a little short.
Serve up from Olivia Bettis. Receive from West Central. We've got an attack from Blevins. And North Greene did receive it, but it was over their head on their third touch. So ball will go back to West Central, tied up 2-2. Blevins is going to be in the back row to serve. Ball up, barely over, received well from North Greene. We're going to tip over from Reagan Brown, and it's going to go right to the ground in Warrior Court. So point back to West Central, 3-2. Ball up from Blevins, received from North Greene, back over to West Central. Luna's gonna tip it over and point for the Cougars.
Right over that block.
They were there though. Warriors were there. Cougar ball, 4-2. Blevins back to serve. Ball up. Back row to the Warriors. And good attempt there by Elena Jackson, who hits center. Ball was retrieved though by West Central. Good job by the Warriors. They're trying to set things up. They've got some good options here. They've got some good hitters. They just got to put all three parts of it back together. Blevins back to serve again, 5-2 Cougars. Ball up, good serve. It's a powerful serve because when the Warriors are receiving it, it's going straight back over, and then we got to be on our feet, West Central does, to get that because every time it hits somebody, it's getting more speed behind it. So they come back like a rocket. Elena Jackson's going to be back for the Warriors. They're down 3-5. Ball up, good serve, ace. Without any question, right in a hole in the back left corner. Good serve. She's got a lot of power to her there.
She had several service points the last game.
Another
match.
Great serve. Again, she's got a good hand on the ball. It's going straight over the net and dropping right after the plane of the net. So that one didn't really, Blevins was there, but it was hard for her to get under it. Another good, powerful serve. Luna was there, but kind of reflected backwards, and it's hard for the Cougars to recover that. So we're going to take a lead for North Greene. They're up 6-5. And we have a substitution coming in. We have Haley Jefferson in for Blevins. She's going to go to the back serving corner. And a little low, I think her serve, Jackson, her toss was a little low, so she made contact with it, below the net line. So serve goes right into the net. Jaden Luna's going to be back for West Central. They have tied it up at 6. Good serve up by Luna, and ace. Elena Jackson is there for the ball, but again, just kind of hard. It kind of just dropped right in front of her. I think she had lined herself up well, but then the ball just drops. Remember, you got a good spin and a good hand on the ball. That's what happens. Another good serve by Luna. Drops right over the tape of the net, and the Warriors were there to pick it up, but it just goes out of bounds. Cougars up 8-6. Luna with a serve. Good serve with a good spin, and it just spins right off of Hannah Meldrum's arms. She was right there, just needs to maybe move behind it a little bit, but again, it's got a spin on it, so it's kind of hard to tell like where it's going to end up. Cougar ball, 9-6. Good serve by Luna. Drops right in between the middle front and middle back players up for North Greene. Everybody's kind of, you're just, you know, if you're in the front row, it's like over your shoulders. But if you're in the back row, it's too far in front of you. So just have to adjust. So we have a net violation, or not a net serve, I guess, on West Central. So Warriors are going to take the ball back. West Central's up 10-7.
Jocelyn Cooper serving. Oh, I looked over. I thought it was a good spot, too. Just a little short.
She kind of was going for that backside corner, and then it just hit the net. So coming in for the Warriors is Chloe Dom. And back to serving for the Cougars is Gracie Howard. This will be her first attempt at serving. And she just she hits it on the side of her hand, so the ball goes out of bounds. Hannah Meldrum is going to be back for the Warriors. They are down 8-11. She's got a good underhand serve. Ella Hoots is there, but it is sent out of bounds. So point for Meldrum. She'll be back to serve again. Looking for the holes. So she hits it to the backside. Reagan Brown for the hit. And it just kind of rolls off of the receiver from the Warrior back row. West Central will take the point.
That was a good pass by Heilman. That's what the first pass is super important, especially at junior high. If you can get that receive, you're going to be able to set the ball up and do a lot with your hitters.
So Blevins comes back into the game and Jefferson goes out. Brooklyn Heilman's going to be in the back row to serve. Ball up and good serve. Good reception from the Warriors. It barely makes over the net and they get a point. So 12-10. That was Chloe Dom who received that and did a good job of getting it barely back over the net. Served by Madison Ifland. And it is recovered by the Cougars. There's a couple, yep, good job. So that was well played. Both sides had, I would say it was played. I don't know that it was well played. There was a lot of, oh, with the big deer in the headlight look, because it's almost just like it bounces back and forth like pinball sometimes, and you just get up there and you hope that you're not going to get called with something, and nobody did. So good thing. Reagan Brown up to serve for the Cougars. Ball received well from, I think that was Olivia Bettis in the front row. She received that well, and it goes right back over to West Central side where North Greene will get a point. Chloe Dom goes out of the game, and Jocelyn Cooper is going to come in. We've got Neela Beatty up to serve. Good serve over. Luna in for the attack. And Beatty is there to recover, but it's one of those overhand, like you've cheated up from the back line and it's going to be in, but you need to get a hand on it. So you put your hands above your head, and then you get called for double contact.
Yeah, that was a really good hit.
Good job by Luna outside. So she's pretty universal. She's going back to serve. She's got several service points. She's also a setter, and then she's going to hit outside. So, that's the kind of universal player that every coach looks forward to having, because you just need a little practice to help make her spot, but she can play them all. So
yeah, super important. Number 2, Olivia Bettis just served that,
and it looks like we got a hand on it for West Central, but couldn't make it back over the net. So point for the Warriors. They are down 13-14. They're making a good comeback. Good serve, good powerful serve. Kind of dropped, but it was recovered by Blevins. And then Luna's there at the net to make sure it's not coming back, and it just drops right in the middle. So point for West Central. They are up 15-13, and Blevins is back to serve. Oh, good job. Good serve, kind of right in between two of the front row players for the Warriors. They both get their hands on it, but not well received. So West Central's gonna take the ball back. Ball up, good serve again. Elena Jackson is there to receive it, but kind of as a sidearm type of thing. She has both hands there, but she was sideways, and so the ball goes out of bounds. Cougars are up 17-13. Blevins up. And she has a service error, right? And I think it just went off the side of her hand because it ends up on the opposite side of the court in the net. So we're going to have Jefferson coming in and Blevins going out. Number 11, Elena Jackson, is going to be back to serve for the Warriors. Good serve up to Ella Hoots, which is going to go over and then received and back over. West Central Brooklyn Heilman got a hand on the ball. We are going to attempt. So it was received by Reagan Brown and just kind of rolled out of the net. So again, one of those hard ones. It's either you got to get somebody up in the air to try and tip it over, which nobody was there, or you got to get down and let it roll off of the net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jackson with another serve. I like watching her serve. I got nervous saying that, though. I didn't want to jinx her.
Oh, gosh. So North Greene, they played that. West Central played that, and then it returned back to North. Oh, I'm sorry. Went back to West Central side, but then it was just dropped in the middle of everybody. Good serve by Jackson. She's just got a bomb, and she's playing it. She's spotting it really well.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for your patience listening to me tonight. And Lexi here, she's supposed to speak up more. But she's kind of quiet.
You're doing a great job. I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, shoot. Out of bounds on Jackson. So she has some good speed, but it hit the side of her hand and went out of bounds. So but they had a good comeback. They are down just by one. It's 18-17 for West Central. Luna's up to serve. Good serve, ace, right in the middle. There is a spot. There are two spots on that court, and it's right in between everybody. It's in between right and center, and then there's a spot in between left and center. And if it goes over front row, the back row is not generally there.
Mm-hmm. She loves that. She loves that middle of the court. That's where a lot of her serves have been
there
going.
She goes
but
again.
It's working.
But good job to Elena Bettis for being there. Oh, good free ball from Brooklyn Heilman. She kind of behind her back goes over, and now she's going to go up to attempt to hit, and just barely gets it out of bounds. She's short, but she can jump well. She just has to get on top of the ball and bend and snap her wrist, and that'll go in bounds. She's almost the size of a setter, but I don't believe she's playing setter because Jaden Luna's up there. She's doing great in the back row, though. All right, that was a serve from Chloe Dom, and it went outside to the right just a smidge. So back for West Central is going to be Gracie Howard to serve. Her second time up to serve, I believe. And this one is, again, just over to the right hand. She's just hitting off of the right side of her hand a little bit, so it goes out of bounds. She'll get that. All right, we're going to take a timeout for West Central. Looks like maybe somewhat of a mass break or something, whatever. So we'll take a break here, too, and we'll be back. And we're back to Winchester, where we're just coming out of a timeout. Looks like Kylie Clayton's going to be going into the game for Gracie Howard. Hopefully everything's okay. I don't know if she's sitting on the bench. with some a little attention from the coaches, but they'll take good care of her. Up to bat right now is Hannah Meldrum.
Yeah, she has a pretty good serve too. And yep, just double checking the rotations, throwing Kylie back into where Gracie was.
Good serve. And it is received by Brooklyn, who gets it back over, and they are saying a lift for North Greene, I believe. They were behind it. They got the ball. They got their hands on it, but if you let any of the ball roll around on your body, you're going to get called for a lift. Heilman is back to serve. Good serve, but it's received well from North Greene, and just kind of a tip back over. West Central's going to attempt to set it up, and Jefferson has an attack from the outside. Good reception from North Greene. Oh, stealing ball on West Central's side. So good job to North Greene for receiving that, and West Central for kind of putting it all together. Back to serve for North Greene is going to be Madison Iflin. Warriors are down 1 point. Well, now 2. She has a service error. So West Central's up 22-20. Into the ball game is going to be Blevins, and out goes Jefferson. Blevins is going to play center, front center. So we've got Jaden Luna up there, as well as Ella Hoots, and Reagan Brown is back serving. Good serve by Brown. It reflects right back over into West Central. She's going to set it up for Luna, and Luna has a good attack. Ella Hoots gets the ball back, and we're going to tip it back over west to North Greene. Ooh, good job, girls. We have a good volley going on right now, and it ends up in North Greene's court, so it just kind of is going to hang over the top of the net. Ella Hoots was there, as was Elena Jackson. Cougars are up 23-20. Reagan Brown's going to be back to serve. She's done a nice job of setting and serving. Good serve over. Both Olivia Bettis and Elena Jackson are there, and they just, you know, it just kind of happens.
Just that communication error.
So game point here for Reagan Brown. Ball is up, and and she's gonna end this set here. That was a good serve. It barely, I couldn't even tell if it was gonna make it over the net, but North Greene was there to receive it, but then they just get it in the net. So West Central wins 25-20. That's going to wrap it up. We do have some stats, so we'll take a break here in just a second and come back with those. All right, we are back from West Central, or from Winchester, where West Central just beat North Greene Warriors, both in the 7th and the 8th grade junior high volleyball match. We've got some stats for you from Lexi here. She kept track of for 8th grade. We've announced the 7th grade already.
With 8th grade for the West Central, we're looking at around 15 aces, which is great. But again, like I said, there's a huge difference from 7th grade and 8th grade. 7th grade, you could see where they were starting to get the hang of setting it up with the 3 hits of a hit, set, and a kill. eighth grade, they had 14 attacks and 9 kills. So again, just that year of experience is a big difference. For North Greene Warriors, we had 7 aces, which is still pretty good, and we did not see as many kills from them, but they still, again, the eighth graders, you could tell that they were trying to set it up a lot more, which was great. They had several more attacks, and they had a lot of really good digs, too. I was really impressed with the hustle from both teams.
Yeah, they all did a great job. Just a kind of a heads up, a reminder, if you are not tuned in already, we've got 3 other games probably still going on at the moment. Our junior high boys are playing Rushville at Bluffs. Our high school boys basketball are playing Payson. That should be a really good game. And our girls basketball are versing Porta right now. Tomorrow you can return. I'm sorry. I'll be back. I don't know if Lexi's going to come back or if Katie's going to be back. I apologize. I get suckered into this stuff because of my husband. So we are going to come back tomorrow, and we're going to be playing St. John's Junior High Volleyball at 4 o'clock. This is a makeup game, so I know the game's like super early. So 4 o'clock, Junior High girls versus St. John's. To follow that, I'm going off the air, thank goodness, and Denny and Grant are going to come back because they're going to announce the high school girls at 6. So JV will kick off at 6, girls versus Greenfield. So hope that you can listen in and watch your girls. And we appreciate your patience, and sorry for all the mispronouncing names. Again, we don't even know half of our girls. We're learning everybody. We're learning all the teams as we do this.
Yeah.
So.
And it's hard with the mask, too, because once I think I have a good idea of who they are, they have a mask on, and it's harder.
And again, coming to you from being a player and a coach versus a spectator, we get caught up in the game, so sometimes we miss some things. But thanks for tuning in, and we will check back in with you guys tomorrow. Hope to see you then.